Al-Kadosh, Boker Or, Bekiim Halacha 3, day 40. Okay, we are on page 81, Siman Chet. Okay, page 81. Right? Halacha Yud Gimel. Im Shnaim Shlosha Mitatfim Betalit Ka'achat. You have 2 or 3 people, right, that they want to put on the talit at one time. Kol echad betalit shelo. Each one in his own talit. So kol echad mehem mivarech la'atzmo. Each one makes their own beracha. But if they wanted to, one person makes a beracha and is mechaven everybody else. They have kavanah letzat mimenu, and they're going to answer amen. Uvechol, how do you read? Uvechol be'ofen. No, uvechol ofen. Uvechol ofen, right? Afilu lo anu hashomim amen. That means even if they did not answer amen after the birkat hamvarech, b'diavad yatzu lechovat habracha. There is still going to be yatzu lechovat b'diavad. Uvilvad shahita kavanat shomea umishmiya. As long as there's always going to be shomea mashmiya. What does the Ben Ish Chai say on that? So that's the pshat why we answer. What does the Ben Ish Chai say? That's the reason why we answer shamayim. Many times people say bishut shamayim. You say shamayim. What is shamayim? Shomea mashmiya yachdav. Mechavanim. The Shomea and Mashmiya, they're both having kavanah. So when they say Shamayim, they're having in mind, you have us in mind, and we have you in mind. We're everyone in mind. B'Yalkut Yosef Berachot, Chelek Gimel. So page number 13. Yeah, Shetamid Yeh Mazal Tov. The Shulchan Aruch offers these 2 choices. So one more time. Shulchan Aruch, he's going to bring 2 different choices. Yalkut Yosef wrote that it would be best if, when a group of people are about to put on the talit, one person should say the beracha on behalf of the entire group. But Opam. Yalkut Yosef kotev בעמוד 52, הכי טוב זה כשיש לך קבוצה שהם ישימו טליתות באותו זמן, אחד מברך לכולם. In that way, yes, that's what we do. In that way, right, their mitzvah would have been added an element of ברוב העם הדרת מלך. לא כל אחד בנפרד משלים את שלו. כולם ביחד. Everybody together. Nevertheless, he admitted, this is not the common custom. כן, אפילו אם באמת זה הכי טוב, בדרך כלל לא עושים את זה. Everyone recites the Beracha on his own. Yeah, so he says, well, the blessing is being recited. Besides, some people might not listen to or might not miss one of the words. We cannot compare this to mitzvah kiddush that everyone does with one person, right? This position is that of the chayadam. There was many reasons, but in Morocco, in Morocco, many times, right? They had like in Baghdad and other places as well, which basically they did not all have talitot. So since they didn't have talitot, or it was right beside, right? It was during the they didn't have a talitot, right? Even until today, יש אנשים שאין להם תליטות ומשתמשים בתליט של בית הכנסת. So ילקוט יוסף. So the Yalkut Yosef, Berachot 1, English edition, the issue was discussed at length. It demonstrates that the Marin Yisrael Tzion felt that regarding the blessing of Amotzi over Geffen, a group of people should have it that one person is doing, but they're all seated at the table. Regarding other Berachot or beverages, however, the most common custom is that no, each one does it on their own. Okay? So he said the common custom is for each person to recite the Beracha for himself, even though the Shulchan Aruch says one person should make it for everything. If they wish, they could have the leader do it for everybody. Regarding the blessing of Adama, for Karpas, Manan does say that one person should do it for everybody else. Right? That's what Manan does say. One Beracha for everybody. By the way, my grandfather, Allah Shalom, that this Shabbat is Shabbat Nachala, he used to do that. He used to take, for example, an olive. He used to eat it. Everybody used to eat the olives when he did the beracha. He would make the beracha for everybody on the table. Right, that's what he says. According to these criteria, it should likewise, right, be preferable one person saying the beracha over the talit for everyone, unless each person wants to do it on his own. And that's ruling of the halacha. And that's what I do. So that's why I come and I do the Beracha of the Talit, and I do it for everybody. Right? Fine. Next, repeating the blessing a second time for someone else, right? Somebody just asked me, can you repeat it again? The question is, can you repeat the blessing a second time for someone else? Now, Kut Yosef is explained that regarding the blessings over mitzvot, it is permissible for one to recite the Beracha on behalf of somebody else if you already did it. This is because the general rule of Arevin, right? What does that mean? We want, regarding the blessing saying over food and beverages, however, one person cannot do it. I mean, Shabra ruled that blessings recited over a talit is the same as blessings b'kat mitzvot. And therefore, even if someone already did the Beracha, he could still do the Beracha again. According to Magen Avraham, this is only if the others are incapable of reciting the blessings for themselves. This is a very important halacha. So to minute, kol halacha zoti is if they don't know how to do it on their own, right? If they don't know how to do it on their own, so then you have a din of arevut. But if they could do it on their own, right? They should do it on their own. I mean, Shabra, you heard? Ma? No, אתה כבר יצאת ידי חובה. ועכשיו אתה חוזר למישהו אחר. אז אומר המגן אברהם, אם אתה כבר בקיא, אל תעשה את זה. The Mishnah Berurah comes and he calls Tzartzot HaChaim that technically one make a beracha for others, even if they're capable of reciting it for themselves. But it is best for each person to recite themselves. זאת אומרת, אתה כן יכול, אבל יותר טוב שהוא יעשה את זה בעצמו. In truth, the mitzvah tzitzit is different from other mitzvot. For a person can choose not to wear tzitzit, and then he's not chayav. If someone wants to wear a four-cornered garment, he can do so only with the tzitzit attached to it. Accordingly, right, the blessing over the talit is similar to the blessing over the food. Even so, it has the status of bikat mitzvot. Okay, this follows the ruling also of the Michat Shlomo. The concept of every Jew is responsible for others applies whenever a Jew fulfills the mitzvah, even if it's a voluntary mitzvah. So, the mitzvah shata samta latzmecha. So, the זה לא מצווה, כאילו מצווה שהאופציה, אם אתה רוצה, מתנדב, זה גם אותו דבר. The blessing saying over the voluntary mitzvah, such as tzitzit, is not comparable to blessing over the food. Okay, the last footnote. If a person listening spoke after blessing was recited, זאת אומרת, אני אמרתי את הברכה בשבילך, ואתה דיברת, לפני שעשית את המצווה. So he says, if one person says the beracha on behalf of a group, and he put on his talit, but then one of the groups spoke before putting on his talit, it is not necessary for the person who spoke to say the Beracha again. It was already validated by the person who recited it. This was explained in the Yakul Yosef, which means, זאת אומרת, בגלל שאני כן עשיתי את המצווה מיד. So for example, I did המוציא לך מן הארץ, right? And I ate. Even if you spoke now, you're right, you're not allowed to. It's pasek, everything that you want, pasek, right? But you did do it. But it doesn't matter. It's fine. You don't have to do the Beracha again. He says if the person who said the Beracha interrupted by speaking, then, and the others did not interrupt, they do not have to repeat the Beracha either. The person who interrupted must repeat the blessing himself, however. So the minute, עוד משהו. אני אמרתי המוציא לך מן הארץ. אני לא אכלתי. ודיברת. Right? ואני דיברתי. ואתם לא. אז אתם לא צריכים לעשות את הברכה עוד פעם. אוקיי? כן. This was explained in the ברכה. זה על הברכה לעצמו? ודאי. אם אתה עושה ברכה, ודאי. רגע אחד, אם טלית, תקשיב עכשיו. ודאי. A wonderful day.